Question from a reader. Who am I? As if I know. But they go on. While I recognize the power in creating and speaking this statement into existence, the statement of who I am, the meaning, I feel disconnected from the clarity of being in practice of articulating and speaking it. So I feel disconnected from like the practice of speaking who I am. It's as though the day-to-day experience of life creates a layer of dust that keeps me from being deeply connected with who I am. So the reader's saying that like they have an idea of who they are, and when they're practicing speaking it, they can feel it, but like life gets in the way and they're not really connected with it, nor the practice of creating that connection. I read endless books and constantly strive to express myself more and more authentically. Yet at the end of the day, I still feel I'm incomplete in my exploration of who am I. Okay, there's a couple things I want to unpack there. Um, I feel incomplete in my exploration of who am I. That will always be the case as long as you're believing one of the lies of authenticity, that is, there is a real, pre existing, static, and definable you somewhere inside, and your task is to locate it and then be it. You'll know it when you find it. Fucking luck. That is a fool's errand for so many reasons. There is no pre existing, predefined you that has form inside you. You are the formless unfolding into form in real time. And also, even if there was something, everything is changing. So by the time you found it, it's already changed. So it's not there and everything's changing. So you can let go of this idea that there will be an end to the exploration, that there is a point of completion. It doesn't exist. It's never ending. And not only that, not only can you not find it, it's not findable because it doesn't exist and it's constantly being created. And so you want to shift your whole reference from trying to figure out who I am to and getting to the end of that to enjoying the creation of who I am, because there's nothing that exists, and that will continue forever until the day I die. I'll be on my deathbed, hopefully somewhat conscious, creating myself from nothing until the lights go out. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to say. You'll know who you are when you stop looking for it, and you let go of the idea that there's a point at which you'll be complete in the task of creating it, or in the work, the play of creating it. So what about this layer of dust that gets on in life, and I feel disconnected from it? That happens when the idea of consciously creating who I am is work. I don't want to do work every day, every morning like that. That's onerous. Why would I have to want? Why would I what kind of life is it to work to create yourself? I mean, that sucks. Can't I just be in the world? Wouldn't that be a lot better and a lot just more enjoyable? Yeah. And so you might also fall for the lie that like no, discipline is what makes a good person. If I'm going to enjoy my life, it's going to come through discipline. And so I can only be if I have the discipline to create myself. And so therefore I must work to create myself. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Hoorah, and I get going. And then after a while I kind of trail off because it kind of sucks. I can't just enjoy life and be in life, right? So I think some of the times when people are not having a constant practice of creating who they are, it's because they're relating to it as something they need to do or should do to be a better person, to be lovable, to be effective enough so that they're worthy enough of love, and it just takes all the joy and fun out of it. You know? It's like, think about it this way. You love cooking. You say, I'm going to go be a chef. And you fucking hate cooking because you cook all day at work. You don't want to cook when you get home. Or you love drawing and art. And it's like, I'm going to be an artist. And you get a graphic design job and you got to draw illustrations all day, every day about shit that's boring. And it's like, it takes the life out of it. Right? And so our natural state is to play. But as soon as we turn it into a task that has to be done in order for us to have enough or be lovable, it sucks the life out of it. And it's the same thing with self-creation. Like for me, I'm doing it only when I'm enjoying it and it's playful and I love it. And if I don't, I stop. And I know the impact that it has when I do it. And so I look for ways that it can be fun if I ever lose contact with that. But I always find my way into it because there's curiosity, there's joy. It's like in the same way that when my kids are playing Legos, I can't help but go like start doing it. It's like, Dad, stop, let me do it. And it's like, okay. but I just love to play and love to create, and self is within the domain of that creation. And so if you're not being consistent in your practice of creating who you are, maybe it's because that practice feels like work. And maybe the word practice isn't even a good word. Let's say consistent play, free play in the creation of who you are, enjoying it. A glass of wine, a nice coffee, a journal and pen, an expensive pen that you love to hold. Like, just how luxurious can you make it? And the other piece I want to say here is, who am I? Man, I mean, this kind of connects to what I was saying earlier. Um, that question is a bitch because there's no answer to it. I told you that. But I think that question becomes a little bit easier when you ask first the question, what am I? Um, so the who comes after the what, right? And so, like, the who is the personal version, the identity version, but the what is like so much bigger. And so I say all the time, you are the big bang banging on. And so if that goes in one ear and out the other, it's like, try that again. Try that again, man. The big bang banging on. That's what you are. And if you can really connect with some version of what you are that is much more expansive than a who, and then the who am I question becomes secondary, and its relevance is not so consequential anymore. And it's a little bit, you can hold it a little bit more lightly. You can play with it a little bit more. So, what are you? What are you? Think on that. Dwell on that. Feel into that. Feel the liberation from who am I by being with what am I, and then come back to it playfully, mind you. I love you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Stick around for more. I'll talk to you soon.